All right, everyone. So this video is about your assignment, creating a salary-based budget. So in this activity, you're going to choose a potential career path, determine your take-home pay, set aside money to pay for yourself first, try your hand at an independent adult's budget, and then reflect on the process of budgeting. So for this activity in Google Classroom, you have a couple things you need to open. The first thing you need to open is this slide deck that I'm showing you right here. Create a salary-based budget directions. And I'm going to go through these directions with you in this video. The second thing you need to open is the salary-based budget worksheet. This is a Google Sheets document that you're going to open. And you kind of want to have both of these open at the same time. So you can do like I'm doing and go back and forth between the two tabs on your screen. Or it might be easier for you to split screen so you can see both of them at the same time. All right. All right, so we're going to go back to the directions now, so the slide deck. And we're going to go to slide number 2, talks about opening up all of these documents at one time, like we just talked about. Slide number 3 is step number 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to visit My Next Moves career search tool. So this is a link right here that you're going to click on, and you're going to locate the salary of a future career that you might be interested in, okay? So you can select the relevant industry for your future career, click on a future career, or the closest option if it's not listed. So it's not going to have every single career in here, but think of something that might be close to the career you're interested in for the future, and go with that salary. You can, under the job outlook, click on the local salary info and enter the zip code of the city you want to live in after college, and use the median value in the given salary range for that city, okay? So once you find your career, you're going to record this salary as your annual gross wage on step number 2 of that worksheet that I just had listed for you. So let's go ahead. Think of a future career you might be interested in. So, you know, if you're in a particular pathway here at Case High School and you want to pick a career within that pathway, or maybe you're thinking about a different career altogether. Maybe you have a ton of different career options that you're thinking about and you're just not really ready to narrow one down. Just pick one for this activity, all right? We're looking to see what an average salary would be in that career field. You're going to click on this, open up the link. So what you can do here is you can find your future career and you can browse by different categories. So they have in your arts and entertainment, education, government, manufacturing, management, retail, utilities, or you can see all of these different careers. So I'm going to click on that. And then you can go through and see tons and tons of different career industry options. I'm going to search down for maybe something in like a marketing related field, because that's something that I would probably be interested in. So I have market research, marketing managers. I'm going to click on marketing managers. So within this, you can see different things related to the stuff you need to know in order to do this career, but we're mostly concerned with down here, that salary range, right? So it says the new job opportunities are very likely in the near future. It's a very bright outlook for this, right? So the salary for a marketing manager would be $71,000 per year, up to $208,000 a year. Obviously, you need a lot of experience before you got to that salary. So I'm going to go with the median salary in here, $136,850. Okay, so where am I going to put that? I'm going to put that back in my worksheet where it says annual gross wage. Okay, so that was $136,850. $136,850. All right. And the career I chose was a marketing manager. I'll write that in there as well. All right, so we're going to move on to step number 3. So let's go back to our slides for our directions. Step number 3 says calculate your monthly gross wage. So your monthly gross wage, right, equals your annual gross wage divided by 12, right? Well, that makes sense, right? So if it said I made $136,850 a year, and I want to know how much I make per month, all I have to do is divide that by 12. So pull up your calculator. You can use Google or whichever calculator you want to use. So I make 136,850, 136,850 divided by 12 equals $11,404 per month. So I'm going to put that in here. $11,404 per month. Okay. All right. The next step is to figure out step number 4, which is net wage. So my monthly wage minus all of my taxes. So let's go to step number 4 in your slide deck. So you're going to go here, use the ADP salary paycheck calculator to find out your net pay, the wage you actually take home each month after deductions. To do this activity correctly, choose the state you'll be living in and then choose the values. So gross pay equals your gross wage monthly, and we're going to put in per pay period. Pay frequency, we're going to change to monthly. Use the 2020 W-4, and we're going to put yes. Federal filing status single, because probably none of you are married. And we're going to leave all other values as they are. Okay, and we're going to record this in our net pay. That was a lot, right? So let's click on this and let's do it together kind of slowly. So let's open up this link. Okay, so it says salary paycheck calculator. So we're going to find out how much taxes they're taking out of our paycheck, which would be our net pay, right? All right, so it says the first thing we need to do is select our state. So our state is going to be Arizona. We're going to change that to Wisconsin, right? Our gross pay, right? I just calculated mine, which was $11,404. And we're going to change that to per pay period. We're going to change the frequency to monthly. So in our calculator, trying to find it here, frequency to monthly. We're going to leave this, right? We're going to use the 2020 W-4 to yes. Filing status as single, right? Not going to change any of this other stuff in here. Didn't want us to change any of this, right? And we're going to go down and we're going to click on calculate. All right. So if we did it correctly, right, it says that if I make $11,404 per month, federal taxes taken out are $1,995.59. Our FICA tax taken out is $707.05. Medicare, $165.36. State tax, $690.48. So my net pay is right here. This is how much I make after all of my taxes are taken out. That's a lot of taxes, right? I was supposed to get $11,404 per month. Now I'm only getting $7,845 per month, which is still a lot of money. Okay. So let's go in here back into my salary-based budget worksheet. I'm going to put $7,845, $7,845 in my net wage monthly, my net monthly wage. All right, so now we're going to move on to step number 5, our savings, right? We talked about in a budget, we want to pay ourselves first, which means putting money into our savings right away from our income. So that's what we're going to talk about. So if you look on your worksheet, we're obviously going to be talking about monthly savings account and then also our retirement. So let's look at step number 5 on our directions, okay? So step number 5 says, pay yourself first by putting aside a % of your net salary into a savings account. Choose one of the percents below and calculate how much you'll be saving off net salary. So for you, you can either say 5%, this is low, but better than nothing. 10%, this is a good goal for the first career. You can always increase it later. Or 15%, which is like the best savings. Saving 15% is really, really, really good, right? So you get to choose. Now remember, you're probably halfway through your career at this point, right? So where do you think you could potentially be savings? So if you want to do, let's say 5%, but you get to pick, right? We're going to take our savings, which equals our net wage monthly times our savings percent of 5%. So if you want to do 5%, that would be 0.05 as a decimal. If you want to do 10%, that would be 0.10 as a decimal, or 15% would be 0.15 as a decimal. So let's open that calculator back up, right? I'm going to open up my Google calculator. So that seems to be the easiest. Okay. So we're going to look at our monthly wage. So mine was $7,845. Pay attention to what yours is. So I'm going to take $7,845 times 0.05. Okay. Again, it would be 0.10 if you want to do 10%, or 0.15 if you want to do 15%. Equals. So I would be saving $392.25 per month. So I'm going to put that back into my worksheet. $392.25. And I am going to save 5%. Okay. We're going to do step number 6 now. Let's look at step number 6. Step number 6 says, it's never too young to start saving for retirement. You want to set aside another portion of your net salary put towards retirement. I want to retire young. So what I'm going to do for this time, 5% is a little low, 10% is good, but you could do better, right? 15% is terrific. I'm going to choose 15% this time, okay? So we were saving before for like an emergency, maybe going on a vacation, maybe buying a house or something. Now we're saving for retirement, okay? So I'm going to take my $7,845. So $7,845 times 0.15. Okay. So that means I'm going to be saving $1,176.75 per month for my retirement. So let's put that into our worksheet. $1,176. Okay. And I decided to save 15%. Okay. So now we've got to figure out our total monthly savings. Okay. So we're going to take $392 plus $1,176, or whatever your two answers are right here. So I'm going to take $392 plus $1,176. For our total savings, I'm saving every month $1,568. $1,568. Okay. So if you did all of that correctly, right? So I have a net monthly wage I make every single month after taxes, $7,845. I'm saving for my retirement and my savings account right away. So now you can see here it automatically calculated it for you. My monthly budget for the rest of this activity is going to be $6,277. Okay. Now, obviously, your numbers are going to be different depending on the career you chose, depending on what you decided to save. But if you did this correctly, you should have a number right here in this cell, and that's what you're going to use to do the rest of the activities. All right. So let's move on to step number 7. Oh, step number 7 was calculate your total amount you're saving every month, right? So the monthly savings plus the monthly retirement, which I already did right here. Step number 8 was calculate your monthly amount of your budget. So your net salary minus your total savings, which it did it for you right here automatically. Okay. All right, so let's go on to step number 9. So step number 9 is rent. To determine how much you will spend on rent, choose the type of living situation you see for yourself. So you have option A, you can live at home. Option B, live in an apartment or house by yourself. Or option C, live in an apartment or house with roommates. So what are you going to do? Go to the next slide to choose and determine your rent costs. So option number one, right, was rent. You live at home. So if you chose option number one, you're planning to live at home or with other relatives, estimate how much they're going to charge you per month. Or even better yet, you can ask. So do not assume they're going to let you live rent-free. Record your answer in your monthly rent. So I want you to think, or maybe go ask your parents, right? If you're going to choose to continue to live at home with your family or live with a relative, they're probably going to charge you some money. Maybe it's a few $100s or something like that, just for expenses, right? Or pick a number, right? What do you think your family would charge you? But don't pick zero. That's not going to be an option. If you chose live in an apartment or a house by yourself, right? Maybe you're kind of person would want to live on your own. If you want to live completely on your own, use the Zumper average rent tool to calculate monthly rent. So you're going to input the city you would want to live in after college. You're going to scroll down to the rent trend and select studio or one bedroom because you're going to be living by yourself, right? A studio apartment means there's no actual bedroom. There's probably a space for your bed, but no actual walls for a bedroom. It's living all in a big open area. Or of course, you could choose a one bedroom. Click on the latest data point and enter the value in monthly rent. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so it says, make your move, find houses and apartments for rent. So this is where you're wanting to think about, where do you want to live? And you don't have to pick Racine, Wisconsin if you don't want to, but I'll pick that for the example. But if you want to live in Colorado or LA, or you want to live in Chicago or Kenosha, wherever it is that you want to live, you can go ahead and pick that. Just be careful because the cost of living, how much things cost, like apartments and houses and stuff, are different depending on where you want to live, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and try Racine, Wisconsin. So then over here it says Racine apartments for rent. I'm going to choose under beds. I'm going to choose a one bedroom. So then I can go through and I can look at all the different apartments that for rent in the one bedroom category in the area, and you can even see them right here, all the different options, right? So let's take a look at this one, right? This one looks really nice. It's got a pool and it's got, you know, a workout room and stuff. So I'm going to choose this one here. Okay. So this one was $1,090 per month on average. So I'm going to go back to my salary-based budget, $1,090 per month on average for a one bedroom. Now that's really high for a one bedroom in this area. All right, let's go back to our directions and the next step. So the next step is step number 9C, rent. Live in an apartment or a house with roommates. If you live with an apartment or a house with roommates, you get to save and share some of the expenses, right? So everybody kind of splits the utilities and the rent and everything in the apartment. So option number 3, if you are willing to live with roommates and save some money, use the Zumper average rent tool to calculate the monthly rent. Input your city, all the same stuff that we already did. Calculate your monthly rent. And then your monthly rent this time would be your rent price divided by how many people you're going to be living with, right? So you're going to look up an apartment back in the website. So for instance, maybe you want to then move into a 2, 3, or even a 4 bedroom, depending on how many roommates you want. Maybe you want a 3 bedroom instead. So you're going to scroll down. Here's a 3 bedroom for $1,100 a month. And then you could divide that by 3, right? So what do I mean? Go to your calculator, $1,100 per month divided by 3 would be $366 per person per month. Okay, so then instead of the whole cost, you could put just a third of the cost. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. The next step is step number 10, renter's insurance. So you want to have renter's insurance to cover the replacement of your belongings in case of a theft or apartment-wide damage, so like a flood, a fire, etc. The renter's insurance does not cover the building itself. It only covers your stuff in the building. So if a natural disaster were to happen, right, you want to make sure your things are taken care of, right? You can get replacements for your stuff. This is very inexpensive, so oftentimes you can get it from like Progressive. I know you've seen commercials with Flo on the TV before, right? And it's probably about 20 bucks per month. So let's go back into our worksheet and record that $20 for our renter's insurance. So where it says renter's insurance, I want you to put $20, and then we can move on to step number 11. Now, step number 11 is utilities. So if you're living with your family, you may expect they may expect you to chip in full or in partial amounts. You may want to ask them. If you're living on your own, you've got to pay the full cost all by yourself. And if you're living with roommates, you get to split some of those utilities, but not all of them. Okay. So you can divide those utilities by how many people you're living with. Let's look and see what our utility costs are. So step number 11B, utilities. So we have cable or satellite, internet, home phone, gas and electric, or a cell phone. Now think about which ones of these, if you're living with roommates, could you split? Probably cable or internet, right? Potentially a home phone if you choose to have one of those. Probably gas and electric, but most likely you're not going to be sharing your cell phone like with your roommates, right? So let's look back at our worksheet. The first thing it wants us to calculate is cable or satellite. So here are your cable or satellite options. You can broadcast TV with like an antenna. That's going to be free, not going to get very many channels. You can do internet TV streaming, probably something like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all of those different subscriptions you could get. You could do basic cable for $80 per month or premium cable, probably getting some of those movie channels for $125 per month, okay? Or any combination of these that you would like. So let's say I'm gonna get the premium cable. That's gonna be $125 per month. I'm gonna record that on my worksheet. And next it wants us to determine our internet. So going back here, the average cost of internet in this area through Spectrum is $38. So if you decide to have internet, you're going to be charged $38. Let's put that in the worksheet. Okay. Now, home phone. Most families don't have a home phone, right? But if you choose to have a phone that plugs into the wall, it's going to be $20 per month. I'm going to decide for myself to just use my cell phone, so I'm not going to have a home phone. So the next one is your mobile phone, right? So you can get the lower package, the 2 gigs of data, right? Or you can get the unlimited data, $75 per month. So 45 or 75 depending on your budget. For me, I'm going to go ahead and get the $70 or $75 per month to get unlimited data. So I'm going to record that here in my mobile phone, 75. All right. Next one is gas and electricity. The average cost of gas and electricity in this area is about $163 per month. So if you want to heat or cool your house and cook your food on the stove, turn on your lights, you're going to be paying $163 per month. Okay. Also, don't forget to record all of your options over here at the right. So if you did this calculation correctly, your cost of living is going to be $1,511 per month. All right. Let's look back at step number 12. Oh, forgot to mention, remember all of the utilities, if you have roommates, you could split some of them, such as the cable or satellite, internet, home phone, and gas and electric. And you want to use your calculator to divide by how many roommates you have. We're only talking about your cost and your budget, okay? So step number 12, calculate your total monthly budget for the cost of living. Cost of living equals the rent plus renter's insurance, cable, satellite, internet, home phone, mobile phone, gas, and electricity. Fortunately, it's already done that for you right here, okay? Step number 13, transportation. So step number 13, you could do public transportation like buses and trains. So if you're living in a city that allows you to get to where you need via public transportation, you're not going to have a car at all. Use the figures below. So for instance, if you choose something like Chicago or Miami or New Orleans or Honolulu, Washington, something like that, and you want to use like the city bus, this is the average cost of a monthly bus pass in these areas. If your city isn't listed, but you know that there's um, a city bus that you would want to use, you can pick something that would be close to what you think that monthly bus pass would be, such as like Racine has a city bus. Okay. If you're going to have your own car, you do not need to calculate public transportation. Okay. You can skip this step and go on to the next step. So the next step is a car payment. So if you're going to have a car, you need to choose one of the following car payments. A 3-year loan at 4.75%, and then you get to choose about what you would want to spend on that car, right? So for instance, if you want to get like a decent used car, $8,000 price range, that'd be about $240 per month. If you want to get a $10,000 car, that'd be about $300 per month in a car payment. A $15,000 car, $450, $20,000 car, $600, a $30,000 car, $900, and a $45,000 car, like we're talking, a brand new SUV or something like that, $1,340 per month. Okay. So I'm okay with like a medium priced used car. So that'd probably be about $300 per month. So I'm going to record that right in my worksheet. So again, if you're going to use public transportation, you don't want to have a car, right? You would record your transportation as public transportation, how much that would be per month. So I'm going to choose the $10,000 car for myself at $300 per month. So I'm going to go public transportation, no, car payment, $300. Now, if you have a car, you need insurance. So that's going to be step number 15. Step number 15, car insurance. The national average for auto insurance is $1,621 per year, or that equals out to $136 per month for minimum coverage. For full coverage, and for minimum coverage is $676 per month, which is about $56 per month. You must be insured. It's a state law in most states, and definitely Wisconsin, that you have to have insurance if you're going to drive a vehicle. I would recommend full auto coverage, which is a little bit more expensive one, because that covers collision and comprehensive. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. But what I mean by that is if you get in an accident and you are at fault, your insurance will cover the cost of the person in which you hit, if they have any medical bills, right? Fixing their car so it's back to its original condition. And it also covers fixing your car if you were at fault in that accident, right? If you only get the minimum coverage, right, and you were to get involved in an accident and it was your fault, it would only cover the other person's medical expenses and fixing their vehicle, but your vehicle would stay broken because it would not cover your vehicle if you were at fault in the accident, okay? So you decide, do you want the full auto coverage, the $136 per month, or do you want the minimum coverage, the $56 per month? I'm going to go with the full coverage, $136 per month. Okay, step number 16 is car maintenance. Let's go back to our directions. Step number 16, assume $100 per month. Some months will be zero, but some months will be expensive. Car maintenance is oil changes on your vehicle, car washes, getting your tires rotated, new tires on your vehicle, all of those different maintenance type things that you would have to do. So we're all going to assume $100 per month if we're going to have a car for car maintenance. So in your budget, put $100. Step number 17 looks like gas, right? Let's go back to our directions. Step number 17. All right, so step number 17, gas. Estimate how many miles you'll drive per day and use this chart to find your gas prices. So this is based on $2.82 per gallon. And let's assume that your car gets 23.6 miles per gallon. So let's say if you're not going to be driving very much, maybe just to and from work or school, $90 per month. If you're going to do a little bit more driving, maybe you're going to go up to Chicago or Milwaukee every once in a while, $126 per month. Or maybe you're going to do a ton of driving. You like to be in the car all of the time, drive all your friends around, right? Really like to just be on the road. $162 per month. So I don't like driving. I just go to and from work basically. So I'm going to say $126 per month in my budget for gas, right? Step number 18 says calculate your total monthly budget for transportation. So remember, the cost of transportation is our public transportation, if you chose that, car payment, car insurance, car maintenance, and gas. And look, it did it for you already. Okay, so for me, it's $662. Step number 19 looks like food. We're going to be talking about groceries and dining out. So here we go. Step number 19, choose which meal plan you're likely to follow for the cost of groceries. So this chart breaks it down for males and females. Statistically, it said that males eat more than females do. Don't know if that's actually true or not. But for the sake of this activity, if you are a male, you're going to be choosing in this column. If you're a female, you're going to be choosing in this column. Thrifty, what does that mean? That means if you're going to the grocery store, like an Aldi, or you're buying all off-brand type products, you're probably going to be spending $167 or $188 per month, depending. If you go to the grocery store like Walmart or Festival Foods, but you mostly buy the generic brands, maybe you're in this low-cost category, $211 or $242 per month. Maybe you go to the grocery store like Festival Foods or Pick and Save or Piggly Wiggly, and you like to buy some brand name stuff, but you're okay with getting groceries sometimes, right? Let's say $259 or $303. Or if you're really liberal, you buy all of the best food, you got your pantry stocked all of the time, $332 or $373 per month. Okay? So I do a lot more dining out than I do cooking in my house with groceries. So I'm just going to say the low cost option, $242 per month. So I'm going to go up to my budget, put in groceries, $242, and we're going to move on to dining out, which is step number 20. So step number 20, choose which plan you're likely to follow for the cost of dining out. So what does this mean? Dining out 1, 2, 3, or 5 times per week. And how much do you typically spend per meal? So $100, I'm sorry, $100, $10 per month meal, $15 per meal, $20 per meal, or $30 per meal. So for me, I eat out a lot. So I go out to restaurants or fast food or casual dining. So I'm going to say 5 meals per week, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? And $15 per meal is typically what I spend. So about $300 per month for me. Maybe you make a lot of home cooked meals, right? Maybe you're more into eating out like once or twice per week at like $10 per meal. Think about yourself and what you like to do. So I'm going to choose $300 per month for dining out. And then we go into step 21, which is the total cost of food. So it says calculate your total monthly budget for food, so your groceries and your dining out. And for me, it automatically calculated $542 per month. Okay. Don't forget to record which plan you chose over here at the right. All right, next we're going to do step 22, which is our health. So let's go back to our directions. Step number 22. So calculate the cost of your insurance. So health insurance, if you would like to have that, and I really hope that you do, it's going to be $440 per month. I know that that's really expensive, but think about going to the doctor, right? Having to go to the emergency room. Maybe you break your leg or something like that. We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands, could be upwards of $100,000 or more, depending on the severity of what you might need. So let's assume that for health insurance, we're all going to put $440 per month in our budget. And step 23 is dental insurance. So dental insurance, if you would like that, is $30 per month. Not everybody has dental insurance, but if you like to go to the dentist and make sure your teeth are good, get your teeth clean, potentially you might need braces or something like that, it's going to cost you $30 per month. So for me, I definitely want dental insurance. So I'm going to put $30 in my budget. Up next is eye insurance or vision insurance, going to see the eye doctor. I don't have contacts or glasses, so I'm not going to put anything for this one. I'm going to put 0. But if you wear contacts or glasses or think you might need to see an eye doctor here and there, you definitely want to get vision insurance, and that's $18 per month. So for me, I'm going to put 0, but you put 18 if you have that. All right, up next, 25 is a haircut or going to a hair appointment. All right, so if you already know how much you pay for a haircut or getting a hair appointment, enter it here. If you're not sure, use the average. So on average, men spend $28 on a hair appointment. On average, women spend $44 on a hair appointment. That could go up or down depending on exactly what you get done. Certainly, if you get any type of treatment to your hair, coloring to your hair, it's going to be a lot more expensive than $44. Sometimes you can go get a haircut for as little as $10 or $15. So for myself, I already know that I get a haircut twice a month, every 2 weeks or so, and it costs me $20 a haircut. So for me, I'm going to put $40 in my budget. So under haircut, I'm going to put 40. And then we're going to move on to step number 26, other grooming and hygiene. So it says everyone's different, but let's assume $25 per month on other hygiene, medication, grooming, or personal needs. We're talking about deodorant, shampoo, face wash, pretty much anything in your bathroom that you might have for hygiene or grooming. And let's all assume that we're going to be spending about $25 a month in our budget. And then step number 27 is a gym membership. So it says, remember the first step to wealth is health. If you don't work out or you do it for free outside or at your house, you have your home gym, let's say $0 per month. But if you do want a gym membership, it's about $58 per month is the average gym membership, and that's pretty close to what I pay for my gym. I go to the Recplex in Pleasant Prairie. Some gyms are less, like Planet Fitness, I heard is $10 or $20 per month. So if you know how much you pay, you can put that in your budget. If you don't go to the gym, of course, it's going to be 0. Right? So I'm going to say I go to the gym, and it's going to be $58 per month for me. Okay. So step number 28 says calculate your total monthly budget for health. So the cost of your health equals the health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, haircuts, other grooming and hygiene, and your gym membership. And if you did it correctly, it should automatically calculate that for you right there next to the green. So for me, it's $593. All right, step number 29, education or student loan. All right, let's go back to our directions for step 29. So it says step 29, student loan payments. If you did not go to any post-secondary high school schooling, or you somehow did it without student loan debt, congratulations, you can put $0 per month, all right? It's pretty rare to not have any student loan debt these days, but if you got scholarships or grants that you don't have to pay back, or you yourself saved up enough money to go to college and not get any loans, or you have family members or parents that are helping you pay for school after high school, college, then you can put 0. But for everybody else, and depending on your job, you probably have a student loan payment, okay? So if you had to go to school for your career that you chose, you're gonna pick one of these numbers from down at the bottom. So otherwise, choose the best estimate based on how much debt you have when you're done with college and other post-high school education. So I would say, if you were thinking about going to a technical school like Gateway Technical College or a community college or a local university, you probably would have between $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in student loan debt that you would have to pay back. If you were going to a private school like Carthage or Marquette, or a state school, a bigger school, a Big Ten school, you're probably spending between $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000 in student loans, or higher in some cases, depending on where you go. And this is what you would record in your monthly loan payment. So for me, let's say that I have $20,000 in student loan debt. So I'm going to be spending $230 per month in my student loan payment. So I'm going to record $230, not $20,000, $230 in my budget. So education, $230. All right, let's go back to our directions. So step number 30 says your discretionary spending. And remember, we learned about discretionary spending with our first video from the PBS 2 cents. And discretionary spending is all about treating yourself, right? So far your budget is neglecting the fun stuff like the clothes, the going out with friends, entertainment, new technology, gift giving, donations, travel, vacations, and even that morning coffee like going to Starbucks or Dunkin'. So now we need to think about our wants, right? So in the wants category, record how much you'd like to be able to spend on these items total per month. So think about it. Do you go out to coffee every morning? Do you like to go do things with your friends that sometimes cost money? Do you like to give gifts for birthdays or the holidays? Travel, right? Going on vacations? Do you give any donations to any charities? You want to add all of that up and do a good estimate about what you think that might cost per month. So for me, I'm going to put in my budget that I probably spend about $500 per month in my discretionary spending. All right, step number 31. It says monthly spending. It's time to figure out how much you're spending each month. Total cost equals the total cost of living plus the transportation, the food, the health, the student loans, and your wants category. So that's the wants, student loans, health, cost of food, transportation, cost of living, all added up, right? And if you did it correctly, you should have a number right here next to your red line for monthly spending total costs. So for me, I spend $4,038 per month in total of all of my spending. All right, let's look at the last step, step number 32, balance. At the end of the month, how do your finances look? Do you spend less than you earn? You have a surplus or money left over? That's good. Do you spend more than you have in your budget? Do you have a deficit or expenses not covered by your earnings? That's bad. So take a look at your budget here. What is your balance? If you see a positive number here, that's generally good. That means you have more money, right, than you're actually spending. You have more income still left over at the end of the month that maybe you weren't budgeting for, and that can be good. If your number is negative here, right, that means you have more expenses than you have income. That's a deficit, and that's not so great. So it says reflection. Now that you have done the budget once through, you have a basic understanding of the components of a typical adult budget. Follow your teacher's directions to discuss and write down your answers for the reflection questions on the following slides. Use your salary-based budget worksheet and the presentation as reference, okay? Now I already have these set up for you in Google Classroom for you to answer. So you're gonna pull that back up. So in your Google Classroom, you have the slides, the worksheet that we were working on, and then you also have this Google document that you need to complete called Analyze a Salary-Based Budget. So open that up. And then these are all the questions that you need to answer based on your budget. This is your reflection. And I think there's about 10 questions for you to answer in here. And then you need to go back as you're answering the questions and look at your worksheet. Looks like there are 11 questions that you have to answer. So you're going to use the worksheet that you were just working on and your balance here and all the stuff that you chose in order to answer all of these questions.